All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Rad Pad, where we stand for change and push for positivity. We're here today with the creator and curator of Indigo Art Fest, Miss Julia Fuentes. Thank you so much for joining us today, Miss Fuentes.
Hey everyone, I'm super glad to be on. Thanks for having me today. This is our 7th take on this.
Oh, for
recording.
sure. We've just taken this a couple times. This is not all in one go, just to be clear. Nah, we're definitely thankful for having you on the show today. Just kind of like a quick story. Funny thing is like 2 years ago, I think now, is when you did your first Indigo Art Fest.
Yeah, so Indigo Art Fest actually started February 24th, 2017. So it's been a little over 2 years now. It's pretty crazy watching us grow from a 7-artist show to almost a 80-artist show. So, yeah.
That's pretty incredible. Honestly, I had no idea who you are or who you were at that time. I was like, what am I doing? My roommate was like, hey, there's this thing going on. I kind of know the person who's throwing it. Let's go check it out. And I was like, I have no idea what any of this is.
And you came to the first one, right?
Yeah, that was the only one I actually went to. Yeah, and I remember during that time, I wasn't even thinking about doing podcasts or anything like that at that time. I was just more so thinking like, what could I do to kind of get involved and help people out? And then it's evolved into podcasts, and you were one of the first few people, because I started from that first one and kind of watched you still throw them,
Yeah.
Even though I didn't go, kind of kept up, and I was like, that's someone I want on my show. That's someone I want to talk with, because I thought it was awesome. The first one was awesome to me.
Yeah, the first one was definitely the most organic thing that I have ever thrown, because it was simply that. It was organic. It didn't mean to happen, and everything went so well. You don't ever think something's gonna go well. I remember getting there, it's 7 o'clock, my artists aren't there yet, I'm freaking out, I don't even know what to set up first, and then we sell out the show. My best friend makes so much money. We all actually made a lot of money that night. It was incredible, and it was just such a good, I remember going in the back and hugging my friends and being like, damn, we fucking did this. That's crazy.
It was kind of crazy. The setup, when I remember walking in, there was already a long line when I had walked up, and I was like, wow, I didn't know what it was, so I was like, this kind of a lot of people, Walk in, it was a hallway. It was the little hallway there. There's off to the right. There was food in there. I was like, this is so awesome. We got food and drinks. Okay.
My mom made lasagna all day that day, so my little sister and her boyfriend at the time could serve lasagna.
That was crazy. I was happy. I was like, lasagna and water, and I get to enjoy some art. And I bought some art too, but it was you had all the booths set up with all the art, and then you had the people on it was like a mini stage too. It's It's kind of small, but it worked out for what it was.
It did work out.
I liked it a lot. And then that was the first one. You're on 5 now.
We are coming up in less than a month. On May 17th is going to be our 5th show, and this is bigger than any show. My last show was 33 artists, so this show is quite a bit of a jump, but we've definitely gotten a huge support system, and we have a whole little fan base now. And it's crazy seeing you come from the first show, and now you're gonna be on the 5th show, which is incredible. I've been able to pull so many people from so many corners of every different from designers to models and food. A guy that I went to high school with, he started he asked me if he could vend at one of my shows, and now he's doing this whole vegan pop-up. He does chili and tacos and stuff, and now he's my vegan food vendor, and he was my brother's friend in high school.
That's awesome. Wait, so there's gonna be a vegan food truck vendor there?
Yeah, it's called Third Coast Grub, and he's gonna have some more options, but for our last show we had chili and vegan jackfruit tacos.
That's actually pretty, because I've been trying to go vegan. I'm vegetarian, but vegan, that's a whole nother that's a
whole nother demon.
That's a whole nother demon you gotta cross, because then you gotta cut out anything from an animal.
Yeah, but once you get in the hang of it, and you can kind of start being reading the back of every single thing you pick up.
That's a struggle in itself, though. You gotta
everything.
You're looking at it.
But I don't even know. That's a whole different topic, and it's just that's been pretty crazy to maintain while putting on this show, because I think one thing people don't realize is these shows take so much organization, take so much time, and it's not an immediate payoff. And you have to contact so many people. I have so many people in my phone, in my messages, in my email, and I try to answer every single person back, making sure everyone's on the same page, because I actually did an art show that same year that I started. It was the April after our first Indigo, and this girl basically like scammed us into paying $100 slots for this show that we showed up. We didn't even know where the location was till an hour till the show. We showed up to this house with overgrown grass. She was getting out of a minivan, and like it was Nightmare. So bad. And we walked in, and we just like, it was like somebody's house, like not even that nice of a house, like pretty like messy, and like turns out like a bunch of college kids that are in a band live there and throw shows there. So like she booked it there. And she paid him like $500 or something, and like we each paid $100 to get there, and it was like $900 in total, I think. And it was just like, we got scammed so hard. I mean, like, I have a picture there, and my like paintings are hanging above like this dusty AC vent. Like, it was so bad, and that definitely like pushed me to like throw the most organized, thought out, because I was like having anxiety, like, am I gonna be, it was Lucy Ford, like I used to look up to her like a lot, and I was so excited to be at her show, and then I was like, shit dude, where's this show, like where do we go? So
that's wild. That's like, I mean, if you have the platform, you can really say anything, be like, here, we're gonna throw this.
She does. She has like 40,000 followers, so.
And she threw a party at it.
Well, she was on like a whole streak of throwing shows that year, and like she had Justin Bieber come to a show, she had Travis McCoy come to a show, she was throwing shows everywhere, and it was good, like the pictures from it, but it was just because it was South by, and she was on a paint tour, and you can't just, I mean, if anyone knows anything about South by, you can't just book a venue at South by like the month, 2 months before, you know, like their venues are booked a year in advance. So I think it was like probably like last minute stuff, and it was just, it made me realize that like you really have to keep in contact with everyone and make sure everyone knows everything. That's why we host like meetups now, and that's a pretty big thing that I feel like makes us a little different than other festivals. But yeah, kind of went on a rant there, but
no, that was good. I like that. I mean, at least, you know, now you're like, okay, this is what I gotta do. Quality over quantity too. You're not just
definitely.
Let me throw a show, and if it comes out terrible, then at least no.
Yeah.
Because that one show can make a lot of people not ever want to go.
Yeah, because people remember bad things way more than they remember the good thing.
Oh yeah.
You do one bad thing and everyone remembers it.
Next thing you know, you're #Firefest. You know.
Oh my god.
Everyone's gonna be on your ass.
You know, that's so crazy, because like he could have pulled it off, but he didn't.
He just bullshitted.
Can you imagine selling like 200,000? Like our tickets are $30.
He was
like selling tickets for like fucking. Oh my god, that's crazy.
People bought them too.
They sold out. Like what?
And then you show up and you're getting a piece of bread with cheese on the top. That's no. And that's not what you want. That's not what we're having.
Not at all.
Indigo Art Fest is definitely something way better. You're gonna enjoy it if you go.
We definitely are building a really awesome reputation.
I think it's pretty awesome.
Shout out to all the people that support us and all the people who keep coming back, and all the new faces like you.
Yeah, I'm honestly enjoying. I'm barely a part of it, but honestly, I enjoyed everything that they're doing and everything that y'all do.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see what it's gonna be like. Honestly, I'm super excited.
Jet.
Is that it? Yeah, that is a jet.
That's a jet.
But, so basically too, like with everything going on, I know it's hard to manage your own time. I mean, you're managing your own time with Indigo, but I mean like your own time.
Oh yeah.
Your breathing time where you're like, okay, what am I gonna do for myself today?
That is like, today it is, I woke up 2 hours ago. So like my life has gone from like, I was a bartender like a few months ago, and I was waking up. I was a breakfast bartender, so I would get to work at like 6 a.m. We would open at 6:30, and I was like in this whole routine of like, you know, waking up early. I'd get out at work at like 1 or 2, and then I'd like go grind for the rest of the day. And now I'm just like, one thing that I've had to realize is that I have to manage my stress, and I have to relax, and I have to let myself sleep in, and I have to let myself have lazy days, because if I don't, like, I'll completely fall apart and I won't be able to do the show. So
good though, at least you know that. Like, that's a big part, you know, instead of go until you're like, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, no, that's definitely happened. I think I just did an interview with Voyage, and like I kind of opened up a little about like myself personally. Like I have a stomach disease, and so like I've learned, I got diagnosed like 8 months before I started shows. So like I learned along the way that like if you stress yourself out so much to the point where like your body is failing, you're overall gonna like the whole situation, you know, you're not gonna be able to help anyone with the shows. And like when I'm the person in charge who has to deal with this, like nobody else is gonna be able to do what they need to do if I'm over here in the hospital, which I have been hospitalized like a fuck ton of times.
So that's kind of something that's affected you, huh? Is your stomach?
Yeah.
Wait, what was it called?
It's called ulcerative colitis.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people know. It's not super common, but it is common. But just with like 60-year-old people, it's a little further down from Crohn's disease, and it affects your colon. And so that's also why I'm vegan, because my body just can't process like. The last time I ate a burger, I was just dying for like a week. So
that's good though. I mean, you're getting healthy too on the bright side.
Yeah.
You're eating healthier, and you're still pushing, and that's something you have to overcome personally. And it's like you're still up there answering 100 texts. You're like,
oh yeah.
Regardless, every day and trying your best. Because
yeah.
I'm sure people too are like, could you respond back? And you know, you're like, I'm trying my best.
That's
over
why
here.
I feel like people are just like, oh, like she's so full of herself, because I'm constantly like, hey, like just posting like if I don't get back to you, it's because I'm like super busy. Like, hey you guys, I'm not answering my phone today. Like just trying to like, because like if you are on my team, you kind of need to, I don't know what people think when I don't respond, but like I just hope they know that I'm busy and that I'm gonna be getting back to them as soon as I can. But yeah, I try to keep everyone like on the same page as me, because it is hard to answer all these emails and texts and have a planner that has like 5 different categories.
Because other than Indigo too, don't you have other little things that you're doing as well and trying to put together as well?
Yeah, so we actually just obtained a warehouse in February. So we've had it, we started construction March 3rd. So we are opening up an event space, which is like my dream job, and my investor just went out and bought us a warehouse, and it has been like the craziest few months, because it's like the most serious thing that, like Indigo's very serious, but like we are out there, you know, painting and reconstructing this warehouse. And within the first month of us opening it, we did have our first event. We had our second event last Friday, and it's just been incredible to be able to bring that space to this audience. And as well as it's going to be a gym, and then it's going to be like a graphic design space. So that's been pretty crazy. That's like my side hustle turned main hustle, and it's been so much fun.
And what do you see coming out of all of this? I mean, of course you got Indigo, and then with this, what you say is your dream job, what do you see coming out of all of this, or what do you hope for the most?
I definitely just hope to get as much knowledge as I can from it, and try to perfect myself on all the little things, and just learn as much as possible. We're actually throwing our first 2 markets the first 2 weekends of May, which we decided last week, so we just threw that onto our plates. We're having 2 3-day mini markets, May 3rd through 5th and 10th through 11th, and then it's Indigo.
You're gonna be busy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be super busy. But I've never thrown a market, so I was like, you know, this is cool. This is gonna teach me about how to do a midday show that is less art-based and more community-based. So I'm really excited about that. I definitely see a lot of growth from the community happening from this warehouse. I think Indigo is going to kind of like separate itself and take its own direction, and it's not going to have as much to do with the warehouse, but I think that the warehouse is really, really going to bring like a lot of people together. I've already, you know, with the model calls we've had there, we had our first meetup there last week as well. It's just been, you know, it's been a meeting point for everyone, and everyone can appreciate the space and be able to come together and really work towards a common goal. So definitely community growth, and I don't know. I don't know. I hope for a lot of really great things to come from the warehouse.
Personally, I like what you're doing with the warehouse, and even just with Indigos, because, you know, a lot of things that you see when people throw events, it's just focused solely on music. You know, someone's performing, and then or a party, and then someone's performing. But I think also with the first Indigo Art Fest was separated it from just like other little things that people throw. It wasn't a party, you know. It was kind of set up to where everyone could talk, and it was very social, but you were seeing everyone's art or paintings, and then, you know, firsthand there. And then you also did have music as well, but it wasn't just like music's the center of everything. You're trying to bring like everything together and have that community of art. And I think a lot of people love that, especially considering a lot of people, you might get credit, but you don't get as much notice if you're doing other art forms rather than music. Music's like the one that everyone focuses on.
Yeah, and I think that for the artists there, it's extremely important because, one, like, it's so much different, like, buying an art print or a sticker or a shirt or something from somebody in person than just buying something online, because you get that connection with the artist and you get, like, that memory from them, and the music, like, you see their performances, but there's so much more that we have at the show, and there's so many different... Everyone's just, like, talking about what they do, whether they're a bartender or a food vendor, or if it's something they want to do. And it's just, like, overall this, like, community of people just wanting to progress and, like, support one another. And it's crazy.
Is there anything else at the moment that you're just trying to get over at this point in time, and then you're looking forward? So it's like any big obstacles right now, something that's really, you're like, I can't wait to just get through this.
Indigo, probably.
Like
I'm just like, so this summer, I kind of want to reflect back on my life and just kind of like spend time with all the people that I got to, you know, I didn't get to see a lot because I was traveling or I was dealing with Indigo, and I was just so busy. I feel like I kind of missed out on a year of my life. So with the opportunities we've made for ourselves, we really want to throw a bunch of parties and
just for fun.
Yeah, just like we want to do some pool parties, and we want to do like some art in the park, and maybe like a doggy meetup, or I don't know. We just want to do like a bunch of stuff that's relaxing, and there's not so much work put into it, but as just like fun. Like, we show up, we're gonna have fun together. We've been working our asses off for the past like 2 years, you know, like, let's just have some fun with it. You know, we are in a really good position to do so. So I'm ready to get done with May, because I have some events at the end of May, and then May 31st I'm going to New York for a week, and I'm just gonna like start summer super hard.
Just kick it back a little bit and kind of just enjoy what you've done and just lay back a little bit.
Yeah.
It's interesting how far you've come. How did it all start in the first place? You know, now your May's full and you're like, I just want to be able to kick back. But, you know, before then you were like, that was what you were doing, you know?
I was just an artist for a hobby, and I was working at a taco shop in Austin. And I was getting paid really well. Shout out Taco Deli. Like, got super good money. And it was the same situation where I was waking up at like 5:30 a.m. and I was getting to work at 6, and I was leaving around 4. But I moved to Austin with no friends and no family. I had one uncle up there, and my boyfriend at the time like didn't even live in Austin. So I just started, like, I just wanted to have a party. I grew up having parties. We grew up throwing parties for every occasion. So I wanted to have a party because I was super depressed, and I wanted to show my art at the same time, because I was always really, really shy about showing my art just because people were haters. And
Facts.
I ended up putting money down on ShareSpace, and I just asked like a few people that I knew that made art, which is crazy to think about now, because I'm like, I know so many people who make art, and back then I'm like, I just like had to like, I picked like my close friends, I picked like a few girls that I didn't know, and I picked like a couple kids that went to high school with me, and like now I'm just like, I have lists and lists and lists of artists, so that's kind of cool. But we just decided to throw a party and have our art there, see if it would sell. And then Ian Connor ended up coming out to that show, and I think that kind of like flipped a switch on when it became like less of like a little party and more of like, oh shit, like this is an event, because he came out and he got us a lot of attention on social media. And this was 2017, mind you, and he had me like walk him around all the booths, and like he bought people's art, and he posted about the art show, and he posted about people's art, and it was just like bringing light to something that wasn't anything, like bringing light to this event that hadn't actually, it wasn't even over. Like, it wasn't even a thing. And then we became Indigo Art Fest from that incredible night. And nothing was meant to happen. And all of it just happened. And now we're here.
It's a wild story. Something it almost doesn't sound real, and then it is. You're like,
right?
Yeah, I decided, hey, why not? And then look at us now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that easy. Don't get me wrong.
No, not at
years
all.
Years of hard work and having this hobby of art, and how'd you get into that as well is that's interesting, because that's what delve you into this world that you're still learning everything, and you're trying to figure out what's happening as you go along. So what kind of got you into the whole art world, I guess you would say?
I had always been a writer growing up, and when I was 14, I was dating this boy, and we were in a horrible relationship, and he actually ended up leaving me for this girl who was an artist, and I was so hurt, but also like extremely intrigued by the fact that she did art, because that was always something I loved to think about, like painting and stuff like that, but I had just never actually done it. And so I started making art. I was like, you know what, if she's making art, I can make art. And I started making art, and I got a lot of hate for it, and it just ended up turning into something that, like, I remember coming home from parties and just like finger painting, and just like waking up on the weekends when I didn't want to go do anything, and I would just paint. And it became like a home for me that also started from something that I didn't really mean for it to happen. I started it kind of out of spite, and it became like the most safe place for me, and I never stopped. And I'm really, really thankful for that relationship, and I'm thankful for that happening, because I didn't realize it at the time at all, but it was like destiny or something.
It kind of does sound like it when you hear the whole story. It is kind of like destiny almost. Like everything just fell into place, and I think it's a beautiful thing, and I'm kind of glad that all of this has started, because it inspired me a little bit, and kind of some of that, honestly, personally, has got me to do some of this and step out of my comfort zone, because talking to people you don't know, like I just recently, really met you, so it's like stepping out of your comfort zone and getting to meet people it's not the easiest thing, but it's not. I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it, and part of what you've done, honestly, has also inspired me, and I think it inspires a lot of people in our area to kind of step out of their comfort zone and come do these things and say, I can do it too, and I love that, honestly. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, we had a model call, and this like 14-year-old girl was there like a couple weeks ago, and she was talking about like, I was so nervous to even come, and I didn't it's so hard for me to like talk to people. And she's this beautiful girl. She's modeled in a few I think of Palicos' shows, and she was talking to us about how nervous she was to come out, but she was glad because of how welcoming everyone was. And it's really cool, because I feel like it's unlike any other thing. Like, we're all here to support each other, and it's like not fake at all. Like, we really are just here to support one another and like try to make sure that everyone comes to the top, helping each other whichever way we can.
Yeah. And
everyone has that same attitude, so it's so easy to see people who don't want the same thing, and it's so easy to see people who are like just opportunists. And it's not like we shun them out, but it's like definitely not somebody who grows with us. You can see the people who grow with us, and the people who come back, and the people who start doing bigger things, and it's I'm thankful for it, honestly. I really am.
If there's something you could tell people from the start, starting from that first day, from that one fateful day of Indigo Art Fest one, and then coming to now, what would you tell people just trying to get a start, or like coming out of the comfort zones? Like, what was something that was the biggest thing for you in trying to come together with all of it?
The biggest thing for me was definitely like the feeling of going forward in the future and not having like anything that I want really impacting my life. Like, just growing up and going to school, and then like coming home and like painting on the weekends or something. Like, I wanted art to be the forefront of every day of my life for the rest of my life, and like I didn't want to have to sacrifice one for the other, or vice versa. So I definitely encourage people to just like really, really get in tune with your priorities and, you know, really allow yourself to say, you know what, hey, I really love making music. I really love making art. Let me see what I can do with it. Because what I told my parents was I went to university for a year, and then I went to Austin, and then I quit school. And I was just like, give me 1 year to do what I can with art. And if it works out, like, you know, like, please just, like, let me keep doing it. Like, I told them I'd go back to school if it didn't work. So just take a chance on yourself and take a chance on your dreams. And don't just take a chance. Like, when you take that chance, fucking go hard and, like, put everything you've got into it, because you don't take it for granted, because you don't know what it could turn into. You don't know where you could be with it in the next 3 months. You never know who's looking at you. That 1 year definitely probably has changed the whole course of the rest of my life, and I'm beyond grateful for it. But, like, don't take anything for granted, and don't second guess yourself and what you really love. Just fucking do it. We're only here once. And, you know, I worked at Starbucks along the way. I worked at Snooze. I worked at multiple places. Like, you don't have to give up your side hustles. You don't have to give up school. I recently just quit school again, but you don't have to give up anything to really try to make something happen. You just gotta hustle.
Have you ever was it ever scary for you, or even now, is there moments where you're like, sitting there like, damn, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely still having those moments. I had a ton of those moments for my first, like, I had 3 shows in 1 year, so a lot went wrong, and I lost so many people along the way, and now it's like nothing, but there was so many moments where I was just like, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing this? I was just, like, aimlessly working towards something, and I didn't even know what I was working towards. I just kept doing it because it was something that was really awesome, and I felt like I had to do it. And, you know, even like yesterday, the thing with, like, throwing events and continuing to throw events is it's not an immediate payoff, and I've had to quit my job because Indigo takes more of my time, and the warehouse takes so much of my time, and, you know, my personal, and I'm not, like, the wealthiest person. I don't have a lot of money from it, but it's still something that, like, I would never give up, and that's pretty scary, you know, not being able to, like, completely provide for yourself, and also, like, working every day to help everyone around you. I'm constantly waking up like, I could go get a good job right now, and I could go back to school, and I could give all this up, and I'd probably be a lot more stable than being an event coordinator. But I still do it, and thank you to all the people who helped me out being so broke. Like, shout out to my boyfriend and Izzy and all my close people, because definitely couldn't do it without them.
That's awesome. Shouts out, honestly, you got me in my feels. Shouts out to everyone who's helped me also along the way. You know who you are. I love all of you, and that touched me, because it's hard, especially when you going through all this, having a support system, even if it's just one person there who is helping you along the way. And
yeah,
with you, especially, you're not making that much money, but you love to do what you do. So
yeah,
having these people, you know, push you every day. And I'm sure you're hard on yourself, harder probably than anybody else is. Trust me, I know how that feels. It's like everyone else is like, you're good, and you're like, it's not good. No.
I know y'all think this is awesome, but, like, there's 10 other things y'all don't even know about. So.
Exactly, and it's a lot of work, and I commend you on that.
Thank you.
And all the things you do. Because just trying to put all this together for me is already hard enough. So applause to you on that, because I give you your props. So, like, whenever you're not doing all this, when you're not doing art, what do you, I mean, I guess kick back, but what do you, is there any other things that you like to do? Any hobbies that you have outside of art?
Outside of art, definitely, I like cooking a lot. Me and my boy, like, when I transitioned into being vegan, I started cooking, like, a lot of things. I knew how to make breakfast before. Now I can cook, like, a ton of stuff. I really like doing outdoorsy stuff. Like, for my anniversary, we went to Colorado for a week and hiked, and it was awesome.
I've been wanting to do that for so long.
And it was a super, super cheap trip. We drove up there, and we stayed in 3 different places, and we just, like, hiked and just ate good food, and it was incredible. I definitely loved traveling. Growing up, I didn't get to travel much, so, like, we went to LA last month, going to Chicago on Friday, going to New York in May, hopefully going to Portland in August, and then Izzy wants to go to Thailand in September, but we'll see about that.
It's a cheap trip from what I hear. Yeah. It'd be an interesting trip, though, to say the least. Going to Thailand that'd be a very interesting trip. Different, very different.
Yeah. So just traveling and doing outdoor stuff, and I'm definitely an avid environmentalist. I'm like super into just helping Mother Nature be the best that she can be.
It's tough these days. It's tough out here. It's not an easy thing to do. But everybody shitting on it.
But you know what? I was actually listening to this other podcast, and they were talking about, they're like a theory-based podcast, and one theory is that humans haven't been around long enough for the Earth to make its full life cycle. So the Earth could literally just be in its life cycle, and that's why all of our temperatures are increasing and all of these mass hurricanes are happening, which makes sense on the climate change aspect.
It does.
But on the aspect of us polluting our streets and our oceans and stuff like that,
with
that's
plastic
where
and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm I go to sleep every night hoping that that's what is happening with the Earth, but also we can definitely help out to make everything a lot cleaner. Even if it's small thing, that's something that we want to implement into Indigo as well. One thing I don't do that's very awesome for the planet is smoke cigarettes when I'm in transition into quitting, but saving your cigarette butts, just simple little things like that. Oh my gosh, Gunnar. My dog is chewing at the carpet. No. But
dogs are awesome. I love dogs.
Yeah.
They're a pain, though. They're a pain.
Oh my God.
They're a pain.
Gunnar, stop. Ugh. Yeah, I love animals. I hope to open my first animal sanctuary in Plano, Texas within 10 years.
To where you're saving animals off the streets?
Yeah, so animals that have fallen off of dairy trucks and going to slaughterhouses and just animals who need help. I want some goats and some cows and chickens and a pack of wiener dogs.
A pack of them? Just a little pack
They're
of wiener
the best.
dogs running around?
Mwah. Mwah.
I love animals too, though. I'm all for the animal love.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You got a cute dog on the camera now.
Oh, yeah.
It's a winner. You gotta love the dog.
My little Gunner. He's Indigo's first puppy.
Oh, man. There's so much going on. That's honestly, just doing this interview and having meeting you, it's because doing this right here it takes a lot for me. I'm a person who has to self-motivate myself every day, wake up and be like, all right, I guess I got to do this now. Got to get going. But doing this with you has definitely inspired me to keep pushing. And honestly, I really enjoy the conversation that we've had and just everything. And the fact that, you care enough about the people that you're around, care enough about, the environment. All this stuff it's amazing to me, and I really am glad that you came on the show, and I appreciate it.
And I hope we get to work together more in the future, and you get to see more of what we're doing, because this show is definitely going to be our tip of the iceberg. So I hope, that we make the numbers on this show, and we can take it to the city of Houston and start doing this festival like a real festival and doing it on a bigger scale. And it's always awesome to have genuine people come onto the show, and you haven't even seen much yet,
I haven't.
This summer we're gonna throw events all summer, and you gotta come out and hang with us. And we always encourage people to come to the shows and hang out with us, even if it's our smaller shows, just being able to talk to us and get that one-on-one connection. Our first show, April 5th, that we had Closer, I was able to hang out with so many people, talk to so many people, and I don't think I've had that since our gala or since the first show. We threw a bunch of stuff, so everyone's more than welcome to come out and say hi, take a picture, and just chill.
Hell yeah, I'm definitely gonna come out, and also I know you're gonna keep updated on those things, but I'll keep everyone updated as well, because I do enjoy going to the events like that, especially because it builds community.
Yeah,
it builds a community.
That's how you build a community.
Community is just going out to these events and then supporting the people, even if they may not be something big. It means something to somebody, and even if it's the little things. And I love that. So I'm definitely gonna be For sure, May 17th, I'll be there at Indigo Art Fest, but I'll definitely be going to some of those smaller events as well.
Good.
Sure, without a doubt. Getting off work's going to be the biggest problem, but I'll make some magic happen.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to play with our dates. We always have shows on Fridays just because that's how I am. I like Fridays. And then I realized a few months ago, I was like, we have children in high school on this show. I was like, how are they supposed to get out of school at like 3 o'clock and then come set up by 6? I was like, dang, I'm going to have to like start moving these shows to Saturdays or something. But, yeah, we have 2 markets coming up. We have the show May 17th. Definitely, like, come check out our website. It has, like, our event dates there. Come check out our event space. It's called The Commons, Houston, Texas. And pre-sales are going to be on sale till a week till the show. It's the 24th today, so those will be closing on, like, the 10th. Yeah, May 10th. So go get your cheaper tickets.
All right, well, you heard it here, May 17th, Indigo Art Fest. I'll also be there for what's going to be called Art Talk. If I'm terrible, just, let me slide this one time, I guess. Thank you so much, Julia, for coming on the show. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate everything that you're doing for the art community around here and, trying to get everything together. It's been great having you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Signing out. Thank you.